Hello, welcome. This is going to be a really useful presentation, hopefully to get you all encouraged to join one of the tiers for writing your book in 60 days. We have several options, really geared towards your style of work. And we're going to go through that today along with pricing. But first, let's just kind of get into the nitty gritty of it. So this is about writing a book, an entire book, about 220 pages to 300 pages in 60 days. And it is totally possible. I've done it. Many of my clients have done it. I know people that have done it on their own. I know people that do it with us and is successful within that time frame. And I know people that have done it in even a shorter time frame, especially now with so many people being off work. You might have a little bit more time on your hands to dedicate and be able to kind of slam through those templates quickly. So first and foremost, if I turn my camera off, it's only so that I want you guys to be able to see me. Let's talk about the most common holdbacks to people writing their book, including you. The one thing that I hear all the time is work. The excuse for work is that there is just no time. No time. I go to work, I work a 9 to 5, I have kids, I get off work at 5, I commute home, I pick up the kids, they have to eat dinner, they have to be bathed, we have homework time. By the time they go to bed, it's 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. I don't have any me time. I have to go to bed. We do it all over again. And our weekends are full of activities, full of things to get out of the house. Completely get it, completely understand it. I did it myself. I'm still doing it. I have an 8-year-old. So from that perspective, I completely get it. I have the same background from being in corporate America, having to be somewhere for a specific amount of time, and then coming home and having to take care of my child before bedtime. With that being said, I was still able to manage a lot of things throughout the book process. Not only the book process, but I was still juggling school. I was juggling a second job. I was juggling a relationship. All of these things require attention. So what I've learned from it is time keeps going. What you do with it is where you come out with these big reveals, these books, these big projects that you're able to complete, school, getting a degree. How you allocate that time is key. And we'll get into family in a little bit more detail on how to get the support in that area. But for work in and of itself, we all take a lunch, we all take a break, and there are key things that you can do to move your book along on that 15-minute break. I know it's a short period of time, but on that 15-minute break or on that short lunch hour, whether it's a half hour or an hour, there are things that you can be doing that will propel you forward in this 60 days. And we'll give you the key to some of those things so that you are prepared, you are still meeting your milestones, and you'll be able to see the progress because it's incremental. It's little things that you do every single day that will add up to that overall book. So don't let work hold you back from deciding to do this book. The other thing is family. I hear all the time, family won't approve, family won't support, family won't understand. A lot of this is usually around when people want to talk about very personal topics, such as being raped or being in an abusive relationship or things that their family don't necessarily know about or things that they haven't shared with anyone. They're scared how people are going to take it or how they're going to receive it. Normally, if it's something that they're good at, such as a skill set or talking about a life story that's pretty positive or motivational, you don't really hear very much feedback about family. It becomes more about work and time and juggling. In the instances where family is involved, it's usually because someone is worried about what somebody else will think. So let's take care of the fear of they won't approve, they won't support, or they won't understand. You're gonna write as though you are talking to your best friend. You will not think about what your mother will think, what your dad will think, what your husband will think, what your wife will think, what your kids may think. You are going to write as though you are talking to the one person in the world that you trust. And you're going to tell them everything as though the secret would never get out. You trust this person, they would never let the secret go. They will never let it out. That is where the best detail and the best content and the best books come from. It comes from you telling that raw story, that true story to someone, to a friend, and that story will save someone else's life because they've also gone through it. They're also dealing with the same anxiety that you're dealing with. In some cases, the same depression that you're dealing with, the same fears that you're dealing with, the same facts that no one may believe their story. You're going to tell that story as though you are secure with it never going anywhere. That is how you're going to write this book. Now, as we get towards the end, we'll start to talk about how you're going to deal with sharing that story, because there's no story that you can share that you're not comfortable with. So if you are already uncomfortable with your immediate family knowing, and this is your support system, you're never going to be comfortable with sharing your story beyond that. So it will be some exercises for you to do, and I will make some suggestions on what package may be best supported for someone that's fearful of how things may be interpreted, so that you have that additional support from a psychologist, additional support from the staff and the team. And we'll get into our background in a little bit, as well as my background. And I'll share with you guys just how we work overall. Okay, so one of the other holdbacks, topics. I don't have anything to talk about. My topic's not any good. I don't know if anyone would care. Things of that nature. So let's just be very clear on a topic. The topic can be whatever you want it to be. This doesn't want me to write. Sorry, you guys. One second, I'm gonna get it. I promise. Nope, won't let me do it. Okay, so let's be very clear on what the topic piece is about. This is you saying, your story isn't interesting. Now, the one thing that I know for sure is that your story is definitely interesting. Everyone's story is interesting. It's interesting to people like you. It's interesting to your tribe. It's interesting to the people you sit around the table with, that you enjoy your drinks with, or your cocktails with, or your pizza with. It's interesting to people that have very similar paths as you. So never look at your story as though it's not good enough, it's not interesting enough, it's definitely not important. Every single person has a story. Some people tell their stories better than others. This is really about you telling your version of your story from your perspective, whatever that story may be. There's definitely some areas in your life that people can learn from. I'm sure there's things that people can really probably dig into and see themselves. They went through something very similar. They probably would want to hear how you dealt with it versus how they dealt with it. Sometimes it turns out to be advisory for you to like, oh, this is how I handled a situation. I handled it really badly and I wish I had did these things. That's okay. This could be therapeutic in a way. Everybody has a story. Everybody's story is important. There's enough people in the world for your story to be shared and appreciated across various groups of people. So don't let that fear stop you from writing your story. Okay, next one. Fear itself. So all of these words, you can't because ... You won't, or they won't, or she won't, or he won't, or my grandparents won't, ... And last but not least, wait. Not now, maybe later, next year, 10 years, I'm not old enough, wait a little bit while longer, not while I'm at this job, because this is what I want to talk about, this job. Maybe when I'm done with school. What else have I heard? When my child is in daycare, because they're so little right now, they're taking up all my time. It's always a excuse that puts a timeline on it, a timeline that both you and I know you may never get to. So instead of putting a weight on yourself, a pause, push through the pause and play in life. Play it out. Just let it go. Follow the timeline, the 60 days, push through it, and pause when you're done, because then you can go celebrate. But don't pause before you even begin, because that's just an excuse. That's a fear. You're probably feeling something in one of these other areas, but you don't know how to, or you haven't come to terms with what really that fear is driving. So you just put a weight on it. You put a not now, maybe later. No, everyone supports me. No, it's fine. I know exactly what I want to talk about. I have the time to do it, but now it's just not a good time. Wait is just an excuse. So you have to dig a little bit deeper and figure out what it is that is really causing you to say not right now. So those are the common holdbacks. Now, there are also common solutions, course solutions. We have those solutions specifically for all of you and for these excuses that we've heard one too many times. We're not going to let this keep going. So first solution to work. We've put you on a schedule, a 60-day schedule. We provide the one-on-one support. You have the milestones, you'll have the templates, you'll have the videos, you'll have the push you need to make it to each milestone. You'll have a supportive group going through it with you. This will take the focus off of what happens during the day at work and what happens after work. And it'll slide in there the 45 minutes to an hour you need a day to get that content done. Now, one of the most useful ways we go about doing this, especially people with really, really busy schedules, by law, you got to take a lunch. So when you take that lunch, that will be your time to just record yourself. If you can't sit there and write because you're eating, record yourself, record those thoughts, record that chapter. Like, oh, this is the topic for chapter 2 was X, and this is what I want to be able to say in that chapter. Pull out your phone, which mine just went off, so we know they're always nearby. Pull out your phone, turn on that recorder, and talk about it like you're talking to your best friend. Walk outside, take that lunch break outside, make a few laps around the block. Not only are you getting a good workout and getting those steps up to 10,000, you are now recording what you'll need that night to upload to your book. Very simple. I know a lot of people that kind of fell in love with the whole dictation thing, and before you know it, they were way past the page count, and we were like, oh yeah, you've gone the extra mile. Great for you. But these were also people that didn't think they can do it. So take that walk outside, put those headphones in, start talking. There's other solutions as well that we actually have as a part of the program, templates and things of that nature that will kind of help you go through that every single day so that by the end of the week, you're where you need to be milestone wise. Family. Tips and tricks on how to get the family involved and supportive of your effort, whether that's kids and having the conversation with them about how this is, prepping for your future and prepping for better understanding of yourself and things of that nature, and how you're planning on utilizing this in your life, whether that's to sell to a lot of people or interviews or whatever, or speaking engagements, however you choose to use that resource. Let them know how this is going to change your life, how you want it to change their lives. Or if it's a keepsake for them to have all the stories that you wanted to tell, or may not be able to tell, or for them to pass down to their children in the future. Let them know how important this is to their history and to their future as well as your spouses, as well as your grandparents and your parents, and let them know where you are with it. You don't have to release details, but this is the process that I'm going to. This is going to be a little different for me for the next 60 days. This is going to be an emotional roller coaster for a lot of people, especially if you choose to talk about something that is very personal to you. It will take you on a roller coaster, and you got to be ready to deal with those emotions. So prep your family. There's definitely conversations and tips and tricks that we'll give you for having the conversation with your family. Topics. So we'll help you clarify your topic. We're going to make it very specific, very strategic for the book. We're going to together create an outline that will guide you through each chapter so that you know what you're focused on, what day you're focused on it, and what you need to upload in order for that chapter to be complete. So don't worry about your topic. The one thing is that, some people come into this and already know exactly what they want to talk about, but the topic is too broad. It's covering too much. 60 days means we might have to chop down a topic a little bit so that we get very specific as to what you want to say. But this is a book. You can have volumes of this. You can cover a topic 1,000 different ways. But in 60 days for us to have a complete project, we're going to help you hone that in so that you are clear on what your topic is, clear on what your outline is, and you're chopping through it. It's really like project management. It's really pushing. I am your project leader, and I am going to tell you, these are the deliverables I need by X date. You will work on these XYZ things and deliver them. We will support you. We will give you the tools to do that. And then you hit every milestone and project is complete. Okay, so last but not least, fear. We're going to turn your fears into your story. If there's something that you really, really fear, you really, really don't want somebody to know, that's your story. That is the story that people want. That's the story that we want you to share. And we want you to really dig deep into the sessions that are provided to you through the packages, because those sessions with me will really bring out what's holding you back. It'll bring out those fears. I don't know any of your friends, so I'm not gonna tell your secrets. It'll be a good chance for you to really put it all on the table. What does it mean to your life for people to find out this information? What's the worst that can happen? And where does that put you emotionally? Where does that put you mentally? Where does that put you physically? If I will say that there's been situations where people wanted to talk about extramarital affairs, and they were still, at the time married. So it became very like, oh, I want to talk about how I got myself into the situation. I want to talk about how I got out of the situation. I want to talk about what happened in between. And I want to talk about how he didn't know or still doesn't know. And the conversation really led more to settling things with the family first, really being able to come to terms with what that support looks like, come to terms with that truth before that fear would go away. Because there's other people involved at that point. So you got to be very conscious of, your personal story, really bringing in other people's emotions and feelings, especially those that live with you. So we tackle a lot of that, and it is therapeutic in a way by there's a lot of things that people do not say and go unaddressed for long periods of time. And it takes them talking it through with somebody else to see an approach. Which is what we're hopeful for in this particular program. So not only are you going to get a book out of it, but you're going to get hopefully some closure if it's about a personal situation. All right, so number 4. So this is me. Yay, me. I'm going to just put my face over me because this is me. But so I change my hair a lot, you guys. So if you do order the package and I happen to be blonde that day or have like another hairstyle, it's me. You'll be talking to me. I am Dr. Amera McCoy. So my education and background is all in psychology. I have a BA in psychology, Master of Science in IO psychology, which is business psychology, and a PhD in business psychology from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. So I really went all the way with psychology. One, just really wanting to understand what stops people from being successful, what stops people, how people stop themselves, and how to help them out of that. How to better business, how to push businesses forward, how to keep the people in the businesses engaged. And a lot of that comes down to personal stories and really just knowing what you value, how you feel that company aligns to your values, really understanding that people have different perspectives, different backgrounds, and want to be really respectful of how they go about telling their story without really stepping outside of those guidelines, those parameters that their family follows. So a lot of that has been a part of my background in education, and I use it to push clients forward, push them through to their book in 60 days, as well as push small businesses into better places, especially family-run businesses where there's a lot of succession planning and things of that nature. That is also a part of what my company, McCoy Consulting, does. And you'll see a list of all of that on our last slide. But just a little bit about me. I've worked with Selena Johnson. I am a co-writer on her book, which I believe reached number 5 on Amazon just in this past year. Great story, great personal story. It has a lot of history about her albums and her singing down to her weight loss. Covers a lot of things in that book, but very useful if you're struggling with weight loss. It's called The Wait Is Over. So you might want to check that out if you want to see how a book can be produced, what that would look like, so on and so forth. Sadiq, the personal trainer, he has several books out. I did not help with all of them, but I am a key person behind some of his work and his company, Chicago Fit for Life. We praise each other all the time because we have a long history, but definitely one of the people that I learned how to really put this package together in a way that was useful for clients. You don't want a book that goes on for years, that you're writing for 10 years, because If you're writing it for 10 years, it's probably going to take somebody a year to read it, and nobody's reading books that take that long. So it really, he has helped me really help clients to hone into their topic and their skill set and start to talk about that. Dr. Ivan Hernandez is another client. Feel free to look him up. He has some really good information out there. His books are great. He's definitely someone that went through this process and went through it successfully. Syl Johnson, he's in the Blues Hall of Fame, recently did a book last year. The book is doing very, very well. It's called It's Because They Were Black. It is really about his family history, about land being stolen from his ancestors in regards to, you know, paying for land after slavery and then that land being taken back and things of that nature. It's a great story, something to share with his grandkids so that as life goes on, that story will continue to be passed on. It will be known, the history of where they came from, what has happened in the past, really breaking cycles of things being stolen from their family, including himself with his own music, things of that nature. Silver bands. So my client list is all over the place, from personal trainers to singers to doctors to lawyers to dancers. And Silver Bands is a dancer, is a model and actress. She has a great story in regards to how she got into that business, what really pushed her into always worrying about her physical appearance after being raped as a child and really not knowing anything outside of hypersexuality. It's a great book. It's funny, sad, and all of those things at the same time. It takes you through a lot of emotions, and she did it in 60 days. Topics previously written include the physical fitness, diet, exercise cookbook, which was really fun. The pictures were the best with the cookbook, really figuring out how to make food look good by photo. Family history, trauma, self-help, motivation. I've pretty much covered every topic within the bookstore. There's a few that I'm curious about and really want to get a little bit more into, and I'm hoping that I have some clients that come along that put me in those categories as well. So that is all about me. I am an open book. Every time that we talk, feel free to ask any questions that you want to ask. That hour is totally yours and it's totally for you. I will do my best to push you along where you need to be, but it is your hour. So if you want to talk about something very specific, we can do that as well. On to our next slide. So are you ready? Yes. Yay. Everybody's jumping. Yay. We're ready. Write down all the excuses why not. You can do this exercise on your own. I love it when people come into this and they know this is why I'm not doing it. This is why I haven't done it. This is why I decided to do it now versus why I didn't do it in the past. This is what'll stop me from making it to that 68 mark. Focus on what those things are. And then focus on solutions, and where you can't find a solution, we can work on that together. But I don't want to spend every time I speak to you about why you can't do it. We got to get the whys you can't, won't, shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't out the way early on so that you are successful throughout the process. Analyze the next 60 days. What does the next 60 days look like for you? Carve out that daily time to work on the effort. There will be tips and tricks. There will be templates. There will be homework, so to say, but that homework is small pieces that add up to a book, and that is what we're looking for. Think about your favorite accomplishments. So this isn't the first time that you've done something in a short period of time. Trust me. I've heard wedding days, I've heard tournaments, I've heard losing weight. People make plans, they make a commitment, they get the support, they do it the way that they know that they can do it. Like, we all lose weight different. Some people are self-motivated. They'll go, if they want to lose that weight, they'll get up in the morning, they'll go running every day, they'll come home, they'll eat right, they'll cook for themselves, they'll do it all the right way. And then you got people like me that's like, I need a little push, I need a friend to keep me honest, I need a Peloton in my house, I need a gym membership, I gotta have 5 ways to push myself to that goal. If anything, I also need someone to make the meals for me too, because if I make it, it'll have too much of something that'll still not help me lose weight. So it's really a matter of what you need. And we've really structured these packages to give you what you need. So let's talk about that now. This is the fun part. This one I go. Okay, here we go. 3 packages. It is structured for people that are in different places, that are motivated differently. $4.95, you do this by yourself. You get all the tools, but you're on your own. You follow the bi-weekly schedule, including the video that we give you every week, which will guide you through the process, tell you where you're supposed to be, which milestones coming up, what you need to complete for that week. You can stay on track with the support group. So through Facebook, we'll start a support group that will have everyone that's currently in the process or anyone that's still continuing the process. You can leverage templates. So we will provide templates. You'll get a list of templates by week that tell you what to do, which chapters to focus on, because the first thing you're going to do is create that outline, and that outline will give you everything that it's going to drop into that milestone, that larger milestone, in order for you to get to that in place and have a complete book. And then for $2,995, so almost $3,000, you get a coach. So this is with me. All of the previous tier benefits are included. You also get that bi-weekly 1-hour session. That 1-hour session is one-on-one, where prior to that, you've already dropped in your milestone. I will be looking at that information. I will give you some feedback on it. I will help you with the additional clarification guidance that you need to move forward quicker or to slow you down so that you can focus on filling in more information. I will walk you through like I said, this is your hour. So if you want to spend that hour and like, hey, this is what I'm battling against, this is what came up at work, how am I supposed to do it now? We'll start to adjust, start to talk through what's the best way to deal with this so that you can still make the deadline and still have your complete book. So that hour is really yours. You can use it however you want to use it. I definitely will have information for you after looking at what you've already uploaded. But we will have enough time to really sit down and go through what your concerns are as well. And then for $9,995, so our business is huge on co-writing and ghostwriting. So there are books that have co-writing credit on, and there's books that have ghostwriting money from. I can't say credit because they don't credit you when you're ghostwriting. It just basically means that you really want this book. You know what the topic is, and you know you want it in general to say XYZ, but you don't have the time to write it. So you're basically putting it in the hands of our company to write it for you. And that works a little bit different because we are working with you on a weekly basis to really talk through the chapter, what you want, the content, and then we're writing that for you, literally putting words to paper, providing you a draft that you're approving. We're adjusting direction as we go. So it's like, I want it to be more humorous. I want it to be more engaging. I want it to have more questions. I want it to be more interactive. I want it to be more storytelling. Those are the type of conversations we're having with you so that we can really customize the book to what you're looking for. But you don't have to fill out the templates. You don't have to record anything. You don't have to really do anything but give us the directive in regards to, like, hey, I really want a fitness book specifically about women postpartum and, things of that nature. Then we get to writing for you now. Co-writing is a little different from ghostwriting. Ghostwriting, we get no credit on, so the fee is a starting fee for what it costs to co-write the book. It gets a little bit higher when it comes to, we get no credit and no royalties from that book at all. So after it's produced, it's turned over to you and it's yours. But they usually average about 5x7 or 5x8, 250 pages to 300 pages. Outside of that, it can go up a little bit more as well. So that is a starting price for that tier if you are looking to pass off some of that work, but still get your book out of it in 60 days. And there's 3 editing sessions that come with that too. Usually writing and editors are separate because you don't want to edit your own work, but I do have in-house editors. So you do get 3 sessions to go through that final draft and edit it down or add in or, change grammar, things of that nature. So you do get those editing sessions as well. There are payment plans available for tiers 2 and 3. This is 2, this is 3. Tier number 1 is paid in full, and then you start. And our next date is, let me check, April 15th, I believe. Yes, our next date. So you start with the next group, which is April 15th. And your 60 days starts from there. So rolling 60 days. So it includes weekends. It's not 60 business days. It's 60 days. You will have homework on the weekends as well. We like to pick I know some people want to buy the $4.95 and start tomorrow. We like to pick the date for you specifically because one of the things that comes with the $4.95 is to stay on track with a support group. So everyone that's starting on the 15th will be with you that 60 days. So those are people that if you're a big Facebook person, you can go in and chat with them, like, how are you guys doing with this piece? And how did you handle it? And we've learned that support goes super far. It is very similar to being on, in a workout group. And I always kind of compare it to cycling because I hate when I get on a cycling class and I'm like, number 1,800 out of 2,000. It's like, how do I get to the number ones up there? Like, what are they doing? Well, they started 20 minutes before me. So they're way ahead. I never get to see them. Don't get to wait. We want you to start with a cohort and follow through with that cohort for 60 days because they will encourage you. They will likely become lifelong friends after it. You'll find some really good topics. You'll find some really good people in the group. So we do pick the start date, but part of that is because we are offering you a support group to follow along with, which people from McCoy Consulting will also be in that group to help talk to you guys, guide you along, answer questions that you might have, things that might pop up, things that you're concerned about. So we also get to chat with you, which is great because it keeps us engaged and involved in your stories and really kind of sets up some of the people that are in that next tier that want to talk about something specific. Usually I'm like, oh yeah, I saw it on the chat. How's that going? So it's helpful for all of us to start in groups. So my company, McCoy Consulting, is much bigger than just me. This is the part that I love. I love being involved with the books. I love being involved with the coaching. That is my go-to. So this particular project is always going to be kind of my first love. You'll always have me here. Of course, as we grow, more and more people come on. But I will say, we do offer the life coaching, career, spiritual coaching, consciousness development, which is one of my favorites. Public speaking coach. So a lot of people produce these books and they're like, I gotta go on this show and talk about it. Can you help me out? So we kind of take it all in when it comes to presenting that new brand that is you, and then what does that brand look like? What are these life goals? We do resumes, we do books. We also have the business services piece, which is the planning and funding of your business, presentations that you have to do at work or for city or government contracts. We work with all types of small businesses. So that's just known. It's no specific realm. It's literally, if you're a small business, we will work with you. Executive coaching and team building. So we do have workshops for teams and things of that nature. This is our information. Feel free to reach out to us. This can also be downloaded after you finish this video. And if you're ready to sign up for the next class. The next one is April 15th. This is the next book, the next group of people that are going through for their book. Now, you're going to have all tiers that are in that support group, but it starts on the 15th. The 60 days for every single tier that is signing up today between now and the 14th will start on the 15th. So if you're ready, or if you have more questions, call us. If you feel like, hey, I might need some life coaching before I go this way, set an appointment with us. Go to our website. You can definitely start there before you make the investment. If you're not sure which tier to do the lowest tier and see how far you get on your own. And you can always upgrade your tier. And by upgrading your tier, it may extend your days depending on when you upgrade it. So say you like, oh, I can't get through this, I need more coaching. And you upgrade from the $495 to the second tier, the $2,995, then you're automatically going to minus off the $495 that you already paid. You can then switch into a payment plan as well. And depending on how far you are within your current process, we will then add those days on. So that's why I said some people are still going through it, because they choose to upgrade 30 days into the process because they need more help, which is fine. It adds 30 days to their process because we need our 60 days from scratch. Even though you decided to go 30 on your own, you're now asking us to start 60 days. But we'll keep you in the group that you're already in. So you might see people still in there supporting someone because they're wanting them to get done and get finished. But it's turned into one of those great processes, and really excited to share with you guys. Hope that you sign up. Love to see you inside on the 15th. And if you have questions, again, feel free to reach out to our company. Great meeting you.